In the late 1800s, Amos Lunt was no ordinary man. Once a respected chief of police in Santa Cruz, California, he became something far darker, the executioner of San Quentin Prison. But what happens when the ghosts of the condemned refuse to stay dead? Amos Lunt Jr. was born in Massachusetts, August 16, 1846. Lunt, having served in the Civil War with the 3rd Infantry Massachusetts Regiment, Lunt was well acquainted with the darker side of human nature. Over his 8 years as hangman, Amos Lunt carried out executions for some of California's most notorious murderers, including William Henry Durant, John Miller, and others. The weight of his duty as executioner haunted Lunt as the spirits of those he put to death seemed to linger around him. Yet there was one execution he never regretted: Theodore Durant. Convicted of the murders of 2 women and hiding their bodies in a church, Durant stirred no sympathy in Lunt. Nicknamed the Demon of the Belfry and the Belfry Murderer by the press, Durant hid one of his victims in the church belfry, ensuring his lasting infamy. Durant was executed January 8, 1898. "I believe Durant murdered both of those innocent girls in cold blood," Lunt said, according to the San Francisco Call, May 14, 1897. "Hanging is too good for him." An article of Amos Lunt in the San Francisco Call, Volume 86, number 145, the 23rd of October, 1899, haunted by ghosts of men he hanged. Amos Lunt, formerly executioner at San Quentin Prison, becomes a maniac. San Quentin Prison, October 22, and I quote, "Amos Lunt, the hangman, has become insane. The steady hand that adjusted the noose around the neck of William Henry Theodore Durant and gave the signal that sent the soul of the criminal of the century into eternity now trembles like an aspen leaf. The eye, once so keen and piercing, wears the hunted, appealing look of a man who realizes that he is being hounded to his doom. His diseased imagination has conjured up the specters of those whom he has executed, the gibbering, mocking ghosts of 21 blood-stained wretches who flit about him and try to toss over his head the nooses that ended their existence in the flesh. The terrible mental suffering of the famous executioner is something pitiful to witness, and his fellow guards shake their heads sadly as he clubs his rifle and strikes at an imaginary foe, saying softly, 'Poor old Amos, too bad, too bad.'" End quote. Lunt carried out his grim duty, hanging some of the most infamous criminals of the Wild West, but as the bodies piled up, so did his fear. It started as whispers in the night, then shadows moving where there should be none. "They are after me, Frank," whispered Lunt. "There are several under the bed now. A convict is assisting them, and it's only a matter of time until they get me." Frank Arbogast assured Lunt, "Amos, there's no one there. You need rest." Lunt stopped eating, stopped sleeping, refused to light his lamp, fearing the ghosts would pounce the moment he let his guard down. The prison officials saw the signs: paranoia, terror, madness. For 12 nights, Lunt has remained sleepless, fearing the specters would take their revenge the moment he let his guard down. The execution of John Miller. John Miller, born with a deformity affecting his neck, spine, and shoulders, committed murder after his love was rejected. After threatening a woman, he later chased her through the streets with a pistol. A bystander intervened, only to be shot dead, leading to Miller's conviction. Lunt, known for reviewing inmate details before executions, advised a shorter drop for Miller due to his unique build. Ignoring his warning, the October 15, 1898, hanging resulted in a gruesome near decapitation before witnesses and the press, leaving Lunt deeply shaken. The first time the renowned hangman ever showed signs of losing his nerve was during the execution of Harvey Allender. It was Lunt's 13th hanging, and he attributed his unease to the infamous bad luck associated with the number. Lunt was haunted by guilt over botched executions, where inmates suffered slow strangulation or gruesome injuries instead of a swift death. He confided in his co-workers that the ghosts of 21 blood-stained wretches constantly lurked around him, attempting to slip a noose around his neck, just as he had done to so many as an executioner. Noticing his declining mental state, prison officials removed Lunt from his roles as both guard and executioner. Lunt's wife met with Warden Aguirre and Captain Russell, and they decided to send him to San Francisco the next day to consult Dr. Barbette, hoping for a chance to restore his mind. If the doctor found no hope for recovery, Lunt would be brought before the Lunacy Commission and committed to an asylum. Judge Bars reluctantly signed the order of commitment, placing Lunt in an asylum in late 1899. Amos Lunt was committed to an asylum. His wife, heartbroken, knew the truth. He would never leave that place alive. The Santa Cruz Sentinel reported on September 23, 1901, that Lunt had been confined to the asylum for over a year and was a physical and mental wreck. Lunt passed away on September 19, 1901, at the age of 55. Was it guilt? Was it madness? Or did the spirits of the condemned finally come to collect their executioner? The tragic tale of Amos Lunt remains one of the darkest stories to haunt San Quentin Prison. His story served as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the hidden costs of justice and the darkness that can consume even the bravest of souls. The haunting of Amos Lunt became a local legend. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It's free and really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much for your support.